Although I can't give you a silver bullet and I can't give you a private jet, I am going to show you how the Essence Vault went from 0 to 10K a day on TikTok. At the Essence Vault, they're a really cool brand. They sell perfumes and colognes that smell like luxury perfumes and colognes. And they scaled like aggressively on TikTok profitably, which meant for them in a year, 93% growth year over year, not from 0. They're now in like the multi-8-figure range, and the blended ROAS across their accounts is 4x. And I've watched this happen both from the agency that they work with as well as internally with the founder. And it's been like an amazing thing to watch, and so I'm excited to show you what they're doing. I started working on this, and I was talking to all my friends, and I was talking to my buddy named Ollie, and so Ollie, he owns an agency called Soar With Us, based out of the UK, and he's also the CMO at the Essence Vault as well. And I was like telling him, like, oh, this is, you know, the talk, blah, 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 and he's just like, Zach, I need to tell you, show you what we're doing with the Essence Vault, like, it's insane. Like, I had heard some rumblings, but when he actually showed me behind the scenes, I was just like, wow, this is, like, insane. And so as I said, the high-level metrics are there, but what was really interesting behind the scenes, it's like they're testing 150 unique TikTok creatives per week. And when he showed me, he was using this map. So I'm like, perfect, done and dusted, Ollie. We'll use the Essence Vault. We'll use you guys as the case study. And I went like super, super deep in terms of like what their process was, and then pulled a bunch of additional data points from other brands that we work with. And so this map actually has 4 crucial phases. They're kind of scattered about, and it starts with competitor and customer research. This is actually what I like to call the foreplay, hence the name of our business. And so in the customer and competitor research area, you have two segments that are pretty important. One, you have your competitor research, like figuring out what your competitors are doing, using their ad dollars and their spend, and then reverse engineering it and learning for yourself. And then you have your customer mining. This is how you're like reliably over a period of time learning from the people who are actually giving you their money to make your advertising more efficient. And so on the competitor research, this is kind of what their process looks like. Foreplay, we have a swipe file tool that lets you save ads from all around the internet. With a Chrome extension, we have a mobile app that you can just like swipe up, save ads to boards. It's kind of like Pinterest, but for ads only. And then we also have another product called Spider. Spider's really cool. It allows you to track every single ad that a competitor launches, track how long it ran for, and we also give you, essentially it creates an entire timeline of every ad your competitors ran, when they get turned off, when they get turned on, what landing pages are driving most traffic to. And so they use these two pieces to just keep an eye on their competitors from a visual, creative point of view, but also like messaging on Spider, what's working for them, what are they turning off, what are they turning back on. And then you have the customer mining piece, right? There's 2 sort of sections of customer data mining. One is your product insights, and so these are your value propositions, your unrealized competitors, unique benefits, usage patterns, unique features, and brand alignment. One piece here that I wanted to just like have like a little bookmark in, unrealized competitors is one of the most I've seen the craziest unlocks with brands, and what an unrealized competitor is a way that someone's solving your solution in a way that like it's not another Shopify store, it's not another gadget. It's like this person had a problem, they were solving it in a way that you had no idea. If you can figure that out, like those are ads that hit. It's like, are you tired of doing X, Y, Z? Like there's this business, look for unrealized competitors about how people are solving their problems without any product. And then you have your customer insights. These are like the emotional triggers and understanding about the people that are buying your product. And so these are your pain points, pre-purchase aha moments, misconceptions, objections, desired outcomes, and failed solutions. Essentially, like how do you actually extract all of this data in like a meaningful way that doesn't mean that you need like a team of researchers out talking to every single customer, reading every message board and things like that. One, download a CSV. So one place you want to look for is all of your own customer reviews, all of your Facebook ad comments, all of your TikTok ad comments. If you have a community or something like that, scrape that. As well as if you can do that for your competitors and scrape all of their reviews, it's just like more data that you can kind of fill into this machine. Upload it to a capable AI tool, either ChatGPT or Bard is what I use. And then use a detailed prompt to analyze and present all of this information that we require to get this sort of matrix of data from our customers and understand how we can sell our products better. Now that you have this spreadsheet full of text from your customers or insights or whatever it is, how do you actually turn it into ads that you can start running and making money from, right? And so this is where we go into phase 2, cultivating creative thinking. And so I want to introduce you to this idea that I've kind of started to formulate. And it's the idea of like 5 levels crazier internally. I think it's like a really good framework to come up with like unique shit in your business. And so this is just the easiest way to transform one of these creative ideas into 5 unique and memorable, high-converting creatives. And so this is how you actually do it. It's like a very simple question. I like to do this as a group. And so once you have this idea or a script that you might have, you ask a simple question. What would this hook, visual, story, or call to action look like if it was 1 times, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, or 5 times crazier? I'm telling you, if you do this, you're gonna come up with ideas that you never would have come up with before. If you reverse engineer it and go, okay, here's the pain point, here's the objection, this is our storyline. At the end of the day, like when you, in its simplest form, it's selling the customer in like direct response principles. But to create something that stands out on TikTok or any of these other platforms, take that very mundane idea and just sit down and say, what would this idea look like if it was 3 times crazier? I'm telling you, this is the way to formulate advertising and ideas and creatives that absolutely stand out, and you can do this forever and ever and ever. Now that we have like a very good foundation laid, right? Like we're learning from our customers, we're formulating these really compelling hooks and ideas, we're turning them into amazing advertisements that no one else has come up with before, is where we have to start sharpening our sword. Like we've kind of honed a blade, we're like starting to chop down a tree, but it's time to sharpen it. And that's where reporting and insights comes in. And so like super high level, like Tev actually keeps this like very simple. They do bi-weekly reporting. This is what they're keeping track of. Creative name, creative type, asset length, the offer, click-through rate, thumb stop rate, average watch time and conversion rate. You can use platforms like Motion or Tripwire to pull this data in a more organized way, or you can just do it in a spreadsheet. When you're looking at your data, focus on your worst performers and focus on your top performing ads and learn from those two. I honestly believe that everything else is a waste of time. You're kind of just going in a circle. Like a lukewarm ad inherently is just going to be like contradictory to like everything on the worst and everything on the bad. So learn what you shouldn't do and learn what you really should do. And so now that we know where we suck or maybe where we're absolutely crushing it, what do we do with like some of this data? And this is where I like to kind of talk about batching your learnings and creating a macro insight database. So I like to like take all of this information that we're getting from the platforms and then organize it into top performers, underperformers, winning creative types, promising concepts, and successful angles and hooks. This means that as you're spending money on these ads, right, and let's just say you have a huge database of like stuff that really didn't work for you, it means when you bring on a new agency or bring on a new creator, you have like a ton of content that you can send to them, be like, do nothing like this, right? And so it's just these small micro improvements that make the likelihood a little bit higher that what you get back from a creator, what you get back from a video editor might hit. I think that the most important metric in terms of measuring creative is click-through rate. At the end of the day, if we like simplify it, why are we putting this ad in front of somebody? It's to get them onto our website to buy our thing. And so I think it's like a really great precursor to understanding what's working. And so this is just like a quick checklist of what I would do to increase click-through rate, which I think is the most important. 1, add text overlay throughout the entire creative to retain attention. 2, try cutting every 1 to 2 seconds to improve pacing. 3, add more scenes and locations throughout your video. Cut the creative down into to get to the call to action quicker, and then also add a call to action earlier in the video. Like that's actually my favorite one, is having multiple call to actions throughout the video. And if you've done all these things and it still sucks, like just move on to a new concept, do the 5 times crazier idea, and start making new ads. We're getting to the point where, okay, what's phase 4 of this, right? Like we're getting really close to unlocking this pile of gold. And this is where it gets awkward again. I've told you another lie this entire time. The map that I had showed you is absolutely wrong. Well, I guess it's not wrong. The steps are 100% what you should be doing, but this destination does not exist. And if you think it exists, you're going to fail. The whole process looks a lot like this, and phase 4 is to never stop doing this. At the end of the day, no matter what you're selling, your product's going to evolve, your market's going to evolve, and you're going to be burning out on certain messaging. And you should forever be looking for new pockets of people to sell your product to.